Hi, beautiful people. Hi, world. Steffi here with today's episode of The Morning Bloom, daily messages brought to you with love to brighten your day and provide some potential insight if it so resonates with you, and entertainment for your daily viewing pleasure. So some days you're gonna get me dressy and some days you're gonna get me comfy, but all days you're gonna get my love and attention in these short videos. And so today I am going to use two different decks, and we're going to look at the Animal Spirit deck and these cards from a woman named Adrienne Everhart. They are called answer cards. It's an interesting little deck here, but I appreciate her work because she helps women to be able to become comfortable in their own femininity, especially women who may have had abusive relationships or other types of trauma. Having trauma and having challenges in your relationships doesn't mean that you aren't going to be able to have a healthy relationship later on in life. One of my wise colleagues and friends has said to me before that relational trauma requires relational healing, and my experience of this has been true. And so here are your messages. I can't be on here for too long today, so I'm going to start off with Adrienne Everhart answer cards. So today is Tuesday, which is Martes in Spanish, ruled by Mars. And Mars is often associated with the energy of war or conflict. Mars can also symbolize just an area in your chart, in your life, where you have vitality and energy. And so sometimes that can be a resource and sometimes it can be a source of conflict, and oftentimes in the relationship. And Mars is also often considered to be more of a masculine planet. So today on Tuesday, we're going to pull cards that help us to bring back into balance our inner masculine and feminine energies, as well as to provide some insight into any conflicts that we may be having in the relationships in our life. Alrighty here. And then the animal spirits, although animals can be masculine or feminine, I'm going to pull those to balance off these super girly cards, stereotypically speaking. So I used to really highly dislike, I would say I hated pink when I was younger. I was quite the tomboy. And I remember talking to my freshman college roommate for the first time on the phone before school started, and I remember her telling me, well, I hope you love pink because pink's my favorite color and everything I have for the dorm room is pink. Love you, Jackie. And so ever since then, I have healed my relationship with pink and learning to feel safe being feminine and receptive. And especially for someone who has functioned as a single parent for a really long time, studies show that oftentimes women who have been a single parent for a long time have a more, especially with trauma history, have a harder time melting and opening up and being soft because they've had to fight so hard for so long. So thank you all for your time as you watch this video. So in light of your own internal balancing, as well as any little tidbits that may help you to resolve some interpersonal conflicts in your life, the first card, lovely little golden white heart there that we've got, answer cards. Trust the man knows what's best for him. So you can apply this to either your inner, what you identify as your inner masculine, your inner divine masculine. If you identify as being a heterosexual male, you could take this card as confirmation that you know best, or if you, depending on the situation, feel like, well, maybe she has a point this time, or maybe the other partner, regardless of gender, knows what's best for him. And I think this is also an important concept just in general when it comes to power and control. within a relationship that on one hand it can be healthy if welcome to provide your opinion for your partner in a decision-making process, but more often than not, a partner just wants for someone to listen, to hold space, to provide some type of empathetic and rational comfort. And again, you have to get to know your partner and to know what they need and what love languages speak best to them. However, we want to always make sure that we are fertilizing and cultivating the trust within our own selves as well as within our relationship, because as I mentioned before, trust is the foundation to all healthy relationships. And so that again begins with trusting yourself and your inner judgment and feeling solid in your love and in who you are, so that whatever else the other person is doing or not doing, you're still able to maintain your balance, your heart, your values, your morals, and you're still able to have a loving presence. It's difficult to believe that a person can walk away from a loving, high-quality, long-term partner such as yourself to slumming it on the dating apps or being alone or dating that other girl who's half the woman you are, half the person you are. I'm not saying I agree with everything on these cards, but I'm just providing them for perspective and an extra feminine touch here. If it seems ludicrous, accept he's doing what is right for him. Now ask yourself, do I really want a partner with this style of decision making? Or do I want a man who wants to claim me and be together as a family with no doubts? Trust that you also know what's best for you. And I love this because I am currently in the process of developing trust for myself as well, and learning how, after years of unresolved complex trauma, to be able to face those relational challenges, to be able to face how I interact in relationships, whether they be friends, neighbors, work relationships, the relationship with my son, and that my fear, and often for many people, their anxiety comes from that fear, which can come from not being in tune to oneself and not trusting oneself. So as you learn to identify what you need and who you are, then you're better able to trust your decision-making process. And often for people who exhibit codependent behaviors, for example, or just having a hard time with healthy boundaries and saying no, sometimes if those parts of a person aren't healed yet, it can lead to not trusting oneself, not trusting other people, and then making poor choices and bad decisions. And so that leads to a whole nother topic of forgiveness and unconditional love and what a person is or is not willing to work through in a relationship. And so asking yourself, what kind of partner are you being? Where are you at in your life? Are you in a place where you're healed and able to be a loving, healthy, high-quality partner? Are you making good decisions? What if a person was going to be in a relationship with you right now? Like, would you want to be in a relationship with you right now? I ask myself that question often, especially as I continue to face the things that may have been hindrances in relationships in the past. And I also think that when overcoming things like PTSD, anxiety, and depression, it is also important to believe that those things aren't life sentences, that there are options, there are healing modalities, there are people that are going to love you just the way you are. And one of the keys to that is learning to love yourself exactly as you are. Which, for any of you who've been on that journey, know that there are moments where it's easier said than done. But there's also beautiful light-filled moments where it is worth the wait, worth the journey. So what kind of partnership do you want? Do you want a partner who claims you and wants to be together as a family with no doubts? Or are you wavering on that? So being very solid and secure in your values and your beliefs and what it is that you want or don't, as well as being gentle with yourself if you find that you change somewhere along the way. I know for me that I am now at a point in my life, to be honest with all of you, where I would want a man who claims me and wants to be a family with no doubts, and that I can trust and have a friendship with and enjoy life together, which that's, again, for each person, they have a different vision of what that is and a different style of connecting and having an open heart. And so looking at what it is that you want and what it is that you need to cultivate in your own inner garden first. I don't know about you, but like if someone comes to my house to visit and I don't have coffee or tea or anything to offer them to eat, or the house is a mess, right? Like I'm not as comfortable having them over. I don't feel as excited about giving if I don't have anything to give. And so again, coming back to that age-old adage of filling your own cup first and then being able to pour out from there. And so trusting that you know what's best for you. And an animal spirit card. I said this was going to be a short reading, so we're just going to do one card to look at maybe some type of internal conflict you're having in your life that is reverberating outwardly into other relationships. So trusting that you know what's best for you and trusting that the other people in your life do as well. And also understanding that sometimes people don't trust themselves and sometimes people are still healing and they're still getting to know and love themselves so that they can trust their judgment again. Whether or not you're willing to be patient with that person is entirely up to you. All right, and one more card looking at balancing your internal feminine and masculine energies. That one popped out, so we'll go with this one. And we got the fish. So inner balancing of the inner feminine and masculine energies. So fish, we think of water, which is often associated with emotions. So checking in with yourself emotionally. How are you feeling emotionally? What have your dreams been like lately? Are you going with the flow? Are you feeling like you're swimming down in the deep? Are you nourishing yourself? How is your brain health? Are you getting omega-3, 6, and 9s? Are you kissing often enough? Are you sending that type of love to yourself as well as to other people in your life? And so on the back of the card, fish is associated with feminine energy, fertility, abundance. The fish is a sacred symbol to many peoples and has assumed the form of deities and other supernatural beings. As a creature of the water, it is associated with feminine, life-giving energies and is often a character in creation myths. I have to enunciate the T. Water. All right. The trio, a tribe from the tropical rainforest of Brazil, tell the story of Paraparawa, a fisherman who is visited by a spirit woman that rises from the body of a fish. The spirit woman shows Paraparawa how to cultivate plants and how to cook them. To the Peck Indians of Honduras, the nine-eyed mermaid Serena is the mother of all fish. The Peck people would have special ceremonies before fishing to ask Serena for permission to take some of her offspring. In the painting, the head of a woman is framed within the body of the fish, emphasizing the feminine aspect of the animal spirit. So this is definitely a little feminine conversation here. So giving up control issues, trusting the process, trusting yourself, trusting the other people in your life, trusting a higher power, this concept of trust, and the idea of intuition and trusting yourself and tuning in to your true feelings, past, present, and future, in order to heal anything that is preventing you from trusting yourself or others, so that you may have a juicy, high energy, fertile, abundant, and also mentally connecting relationship, I would say, because, thinking about the omega 3, 6, and 9s that are in fish and how that helps facilitate brain health, and that idea of being attracted to someone based on the way they think or based on their intelligence. So being able to utilize these messages to help us connect to our feelings, the ones that may be down there deep at the bottom of the ocean of our heart, finding that buried treasure down at the bottom of the ocean of our heart, and learning to trust and love ourselves again, so that we may then extend and share that love and trust with others. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this message. You can check out my website or my Linktree if you're interested in learning more about me or in booking some services. All right, folks, thanks so much. Go in peace and be a blessing. Bye.